President Biden said he'll visit Hawaii as soon as he can to survey the devastation of last week's wildfires in Maui that killed more than 100 people, a number that is expected to grow, unfortunately, in the coming days. As for the cause of the fire, which has been subject to numerous conspiracy theories on social media, researchers are zeroing on the malfunction in Hawaiian Electric's power grid. Video and corresponding data show that the utility powers line sparked a separate fire on East Maui last week. Hawaiian Electric's stock has plunged again yesterday after its credit rating was downgraded to junk by S&P Global. It is down more than 50% since the gap lower. And based on the number of lawsuits, it's going down even further. How far will it go down? Let's look at this article and videos coming from NBC News. Hawaii's top power utility accused of years of mismanagement before the Delhi wildfires. Hawaii's biggest power utility faces growing scrutiny for the role it might have played in the deadliest wildfire in modern American history. The lawsuit, first obtained by NBC News, alleged that Hawaiian Electric helped set the stage for a monstrous wildfire last week. The plaintiffs accused the utility company of years of inaction and negligence and argued that it should have had plans in place to shut down power systems before fierce winds blew across Hawaii. Hawaiian Electric is not just responsible, and they weren't just negligent, said Mikal Watts, a lead attorney on the case. They were grossly negligent by making conscious decisions to delay grid modernization projects that would have prevented this very tragedy. So how did we get here? Let's look at this video before we go back to the charts.
So many, how so much could be taken so quickly. No cause of the fire has been determined, but the local power company, Hawaiian Electric, is coming under increased scrutiny tonight over how it responded as live power lines toppled under 80-mile-per-hour winds, spewing showers of sparks, potential sources for ignition for the incredibly fast-moving fires. The utility acknowledging shutting off power as conditions worsen was not a simple solution. But no search for answers in all of this is more urgent than accounting for the missing. Over 100 have been found dead, and there is still so much ground to be searched. Tom Yamas once again leads our coverage from Maui.
Tonight, search teams in Lahaina continue their heartbreaking work. Already more than 100 bodies found, and they're still looking for the lost. What was once a paradise is now a mass grave.
The tears is constantly coming. For the families have lost a lot.
The flames destroyed Ty Burnett's scuba business.
Is it your belief, too, that the power lines started this fire?
Absolutely. The amount of power lines that are up in that area are horrendous. There should have been a lot more upgrading.
Hey, heads up, the line is live on the ground right there.
While the cause of the blaze is still being investigated, there's increasing scrutiny on Hawaiian Electric. Data from Whisker Labs, a private company that monitors the grid through a network of sensors, shows 34 major electrical incidents on the power lines around Lahaina.
Literally dozens and dozens of faults occurring over that several-hour period overnight, any one of which could cause a arc fault that would cause and spark a wildfire.
Hawaiian Electric didn't specifically address that data or the multiple lawsuits, but said in part, "We know there is speculation about what started the fire, but the causes haven't been determined."
This was a preventable circumstance.
Graham Lipsmith is one of the attorneys who filed suit against the utility.
The ultra-hazardous activity was keeping the power running during this very serious wind event.
But Hawaiian Electric CEO told me they don't have a program for shutting off power.
It can be seen as creating a hardship for those customers that have medical needs. In Lahaina, the electricity powers the pumps that provide the water. And so that was also a critical need during that time.
Shutting off the power wasn't an option, and just to understand what you're saying.
There are choices that need to be made, and all of those factors play into it.
With President Biden set to visit Maui on Monday, the road to Lahaina is now open.
You guys need food, anything?
We were with the Cajun Navy, an aid group that formed during Hurricane Katrina as he delivered food and supplies outside of Lahaina.
It's been a big help for all of us here.
But these signs of hope overshadowed by the names of the dead, like Buddy Jantok, a 79-year-old musician and beloved grandfather. It's a fate this family of 16 narrowly avoided. Their escape route under siege by flames and smoke. 5 of the family's homes were lost, but the entire family is safe.
There's a lot of families that are still not together. And so we'll take what we have. We're blessed.
Tom, what can you tell us about the search for the missing? Where does that stand right now?
Well, Lester, the number is hard to comprehend. FEMA says it could be up to 1,300 people. And when you look down at Lahaina, it takes your breath away in the worst possible way, and you understand why that number is so high. I spoke to one Lahaina resident who was getting a water delivery. She told me she was missing some relatives. I asked how many. Lester, she told me 9 people are missing in her family.
It is a very unfortunate tragedy. I anticipate that more bodies will be found. I do anticipate that Hawaiian Electric stock will continue to decline as mountain lawsuits arise. There's no point going to the daily or even the weekly chart. We need to just go to the monthly chart. And we can see that price is now below the 2009 low. This red dotted line represents current price. Okay, so if I scroll back to 1968, we have a high at $9, was retested in 1973. We have support and lows at $10 back in 1984. We have a pivot low back in 1987. That was the infamous stock market crash. But this is where price is sitting right now. So I'm just going to squeeze up the chart. This is where current price is at. We're bouncing off the $10 level. So I'm going to put a band here. Now $10 is a round hold. Okay, we're not bouncing off $10. All right, if I just draw this over. Not only did we bounce off the $10 level, again, it's that resistance support band that is causing price technically to bounce off of that $10 level as well. But I think this is just a pullback before prices go lower. How low can we go? If the lawsuits materialize, there's no reason price can't get cut another 50% from the $10 level that it's bouncing off of to the $5 region. There were a couple that sold short. There was unusual option activity last week, and they're sitting on nice profits off of a tragedy, and the selling continued this week. So you can see how price bounced off that band, and right now today is green. I can't call this one. Technically, I can't call it. Fundamentally, and based on the sentiment and the tragedy in Hawaii, I only see prices going lower. You know, I don't know if the company can go bankrupt. You know, I don't think there's any other electrical company in Hawaii. So, you know, they'll probably be bailed out. But nevertheless, this is just a short-term bounce in my opinion. I believe prices are going to go lower in the coming weeks. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Please like the video.